Hello and welcome again to our reading of Acts of the Apostles. We're in chapter 5 up to verse 17. Anastas, which is just the aorist participle from anhistemi. So the chief priest arose, stood up, and all those who were with him. And then in opposition to that, a very strange expression here, that being the Hieresis, the sect of the Sadducees. We get our word heresy, interestingly, from that. It means making a choice. So one who chooses to believe something is called a heretic. So the one being, which is the sect of the Sadducees. And they were filled, Zelu, with envy. And Ebelon, they cast their hands against the apostles, and they placed them in Terese Demosia. Well, it's again an odd word here. It's sort of, the Teresis is more of a sort of holding pen rather than a formal jail. Perhaps placed them in the public cell. Might be one way of translating it. This is a classical word, it occurs in Thucydides. And an angel of the Lord, Dianuktos, during the night, Anoixas from Anoigo, having aorist participle, having opened the doors of the prison, and now it's called a Phulake, which is a prison, and I think a little later it's going to be called it's going to be given a different name, the Desmoterion. So he uses three different words here. There's the Teresis, which is more like a holding cell. Phulake is a prison, and certainly a Desmoterion is a prison. Anyway, having opened the doors of the prison, ex agon, and leading them out, he said to them, Porues there, go and stathentes, again from histemi, and this is a participle, stationing yourselves, so standing, speak in the temple to the people all the words, literally, of this life, perhaps of this way of life. It's just called tes soes here, the words of this life. Accusantes, and having heard, they went in, hupato orthron, it's at dawn, toward dawn, or at daybreak, toward dawn, into the temple, and edidasken, imperfect, they began to teach. It's that inceptive imperfect. They began to teach. And the chief priest Paragenominos arriving, and Hoi, and those with him, called together Soncalio, the Sanhedrin, and all the Gerousia. Now the Gerousia in classical Greek was used as part of the way Spartan society was run, the Gerousia, you might know from your ancient history. Here it just simply means the council or senate. It's got the idea of the elders, that a geron is an old man, so it's used in the Septuagint, and the name implies it was the elders. So it's just the council or senate of the sons of Israel. So they called together the Sanhedrin and all the council of the sons of Israel, and they sent to the Desmoterion now. We've got three different words for this, and we go back to Phulake in a minute. So they sent into the prison for them, that's the apostles, Akthani. This is from the aorist passive infinitive from ago. And it's that usual thing that happens. You get ago, so the stem here is ag, and they're adding thani, and because this is a an aspirated letter, then the corresponding aspirate for gamma is chi. So we get for them to be brought. But they, when they arrived, the Huperetai, this is an interesting word, various translations, retainers, sometimes it's underlings. Historically, the word meant under rowers. The Eretai were rowers, and these were the lowest rung of the rowers, so they got the worst possible job on the ship. And the word then comes to mean lackeys, or people who do all the nasty work, hence underlings and so on. Not quite clear exactly by this stage of the history of the word precisely what it means. So perhaps lackeys probably is not a bad translation. The retainers, the lackeys being present, they did not find them in the prison, and having returned back, they gave report at Bangalan. And as when they were saying that, and then we get reported speech. We get direct speech. We found the Desmoterion, the prison, now again. Kekles menon. This is from kleo, to shut, and this is the perfect passive participle. It was shut en passe asphalea, literally in all safety, and it probably we can just take the whole lot to mean securely. Take this little phrase here as almost adverbial. So securely, but it's literally in all safety. And the guards, hestotas, standing, epitone, thuron, at the doors. But having opened up inside, from Anoigo, we found Udena, nobody. We found no one. And when they heard these words, the strategos, now we had him mentioned before, he's the chief of the temple guard. It's literally the general. So the chief of the temple and the chief priests, Diaporun, this is from Diaporio, they were in doubt, so they were confused, they were in doubt regarding them. Tian genoito tuto, literally whatever thing this would become, so what this might lead to. And someone, Tis, arriving, someone being present, reported to them that, again the toti recitative, reported to them, that's something saying that, behold, the men whom you placed in the prison, they are standing in the temple and teaching the people. And at that time, Hostrategos, this is this chief of the temple, went back with the lackeys, with his retainers, with the servants, and they brought them, from Ago, not with force, so not violently, for they were feared the people, lest they might be stoned. And this is a subjunctive, aorist passive subjunctive, so lest they might be stoned. And bringing them up, they caused them to stand in the Sanhedrin. And the chief priest, this is from Ep-Eratao, asked them, saying, well, he didn't actually ask, he does ask a question, I think, yes, so it is a question. He asked them, saying, did we not command with command? So did we not give strict orders? Literally, did we not command by means of command? It's a typical use of the verb plus the abstract noun in the dative. So did we not give strict commands to you not to teach in this name? And behold, you have filled. This is perfect. Second person plural. You have filled Jerusalem, and then we get this partitive genitive, with your teaching. And you wish, ep agagain, hemas, to lay upon us, literally to bring against us the blood of this man. And Peter having answered, and the apostles, they said, so we get Peter with grammatically with this singular, having answered, and the apostles, and then we get a plural verb, they said. It is necessary, peth arkan is to obey. This is a interesting word, just means to, it's I think a post-classical word. It's necessary to, it is a classical word. In fact, it's used a lot by Philo of Alexandria. So it's necessary to obey God rather than men. And I'll stop this here at verse 29.